Let's jump right into this explainer. Look, we really need to talk about this feeling I think we're all dealing with lately: AI fatigue, right? Every single day, there's some new tool promising to write your emails or generate slide decks in 5 seconds. And yeah, it's impressive, but honestly, the novelty is kind of wearing off. We've settled into this comfortable numbness with text boxes. But today, we are looking at a viral open source project that literally breaks right through that fatigue. It's this tiny animated character that lives directly on your screen, and it is completely changing the game for how we interact with our software. To really get why this tool is such a game changer, you have to ask yourself, how much time do you waste just switching back and forth between tutorials and your software? Just think back to the absolute agony of trying to learn a new app. You fire up a 1-hour YouTube tutorial. You press play, pause it 3 seconds later, switch back to your app, blindly hunt for that one tiny button the instructor mentioned. You can't find it, so you rewind, and you just repeat that frustrating loop for 45 minutes straight. That exact friction is what the tech community calls the Alt-Tab tax. It's that mental drain, that lost time we all experience when constantly switching contexts between learning materials in a browser and the active software we're actually trying to use. The fundamental problem with traditional learning, whether that's a YouTube video or even asking a text-based AI chatbot, is that none of those tools are actually inside the app with you. They have absolutely no idea what you're looking at. Section 2. Meet your new AI buddy. This is Clicky. It's a free MIT-licensed macOS menu bar app created by developer Farzaa, and it essentially acts as a real-time teaching assistant living right at your cursor. The contrast here is just stark. With traditional AI, you have to describe your screen using words to a chatbot, which, when you really think about it, is pretty wild. You're typing out, "Hey, where is the color grading button located?" And the AI shoots back this massive wall of text just guessing what your layout looks like. Clicky, on the other hand, gives you an over-the-shoulder mentorship experience. It literally sees exactly what you see, you talk to it using your actual voice, and it physically points to the answer right there on your screen. And the interaction loop for this is incredibly simple, which makes the whole thing feel like absolute magic. You just hold down Command and Option on your Mac, you speak your question out loud, like, "How do I add a keyframe here?" And then you just watch. This little blue glowing triangle swoops across your screen, points directly at the exact button you need, and talks you through the process out loud. In practice, using Clicky feels exactly like having a really patient friend sitting right next to you. You know, a friend who just happens to be a total expert in whatever software you currently have open. It completely shifts the dynamic away from that clunky prompt and response routine into a highly collaborative show and tell session. You aren't just learning about the software anymore, you are actually learning inside the software. And the sheer variety of use cases people are already finding for this is wild. In the original viral demo, Farzaa actually used Clicky to help him learn DaVinci Resolve, which is this notoriously complex video editing program he had been procrastinating on. We've also seen people using it as a teaching assistant for design tools like Figma. Instead of scrubbing through a tutorial, you just drag a clip in and ask Clicky what to do. In Farzaa's video, Clicky pointed right at the specific color grading note he needed. It was brilliant. Although, hilariously, the AI confidently recommended a Sony color profile for a Blackmagic camera clip. So, it is a super helpful friend, but occasionally a slightly confused one. Other users are pushing it even further. We saw one demo where someone used Clicky to edit out pauses in a Descript video, and another where a user asked it to organize this incredibly chaotic desktop folder full of loose expense receipts. It actually scraped the data from the screenshots and built a clean expense dashboard in real time. We also saw someone ask Clicky to automatically throw the ingredients for a steak recipe into an Amazon shopping cart. Though amusingly enough, when you went to check his cart, right alongside the steak and seasoning, Clicky had also seemingly grabbed a personal receipt for bags for the wife that just happened to be visible on his screen. It reads everything, folks. Section 3. How the magic works. Let's pull back the curtain on the technical side of things, because how this all comes together is genuinely fascinating. The tech stack is beautifully elegant. Clicky is a native Mac app built in Swift. For its vision capabilities, it taps into Apple's screen capture kit. So when you hit that hotkey, it snaps a screenshot and simultaneously streams your audio to Assembly AI for lightning-fast transcription. Both that text transcript and the screenshot get sent over to Anthropic's Claude, which acts as the core brain of the operation. Claude's text response is then piped right through 11 Labs to give Clicky that incredibly natural-sounding voice. And brilliantly, all of these API calls are routed through a secure Cloudflare worker proxy. That means your personal API keys are never actually shipped inside the app binary itself. But how does it actually know where to point on your screen? The secret sauce here is surprisingly simple. It is literally just a text tag. Claude is instructed via its system prompt to act like a chatty buddy, but at the very end of its text response, it appends a little tag that looks exactly like this: point, X, Y, and a label. Because Claude knows the exact pixel dimensions of your screenshot, it simply types out the precise X and Y coordinates at the button you asked about. The app then reads this tag, strips it out of the text-to-speech audio so you don't hear it spoken, and uses those numbers to move the cursor. And the way it moves is very intentionally designed to feel alive. Clicky uses invisible, full-screen, transparent overlay windows. When the app reads those coordinates, it doesn't just instantly teleport the blue triangle. It uses quadratic Bezier curves, so the cursor realistically swoops and arcs across your screen directly to its target. It even handles the complex math of jumping across multiple monitors completely seamlessly. There's also this fascinating instruction hidden right inside Clicky's system prompt. It explicitly tells the AI, do not end with simple yes or no questions like, want me to explain more? Instead, it instructs Claude to end by planting a seed, to mention something bigger or more ambitious. This is such a clever way to prevent dead-end conversations, turning the AI into a proactive mentor that actually keeps you hooked on learning the next cool technique. And this approach resonated massively. When Farzaa dropped the initial demo on Axe, it racked up 3 million views almost overnight. He open-sourced it on GitHub the very next day, and it immediately pulled in over 1,600 stars. It just goes to show that people are absolutely desperate for this kind of intuitive, in-context assistance. Section 4. The open source future. Let's look at where this project is heading and how the community is actively tackling its current experimental limitations. Because it's important we look objectively at the current drawbacks. Right now, Clicky is strictly Mac only. It's also stateless, which means once you close it, it completely forgets your past conversations. There is no persistent memory. Also, privacy-conscious users really need to be aware that to function, Clicky has to take screenshots and send them off to external APIs like Claude. Now, it only captures when you actively hold the hotkey. It isn't continuously recording you, but you are still trusting third-party cloud providers with your screen data. And finally, those API limits and costs can definitely add up if you use it heavily. But honestly, the beauty of open source is how unbelievably fast solutions start to appear. There is already a major GitHub proposal to integrate something called the OpenClaw Gateway. This would be a massive architectural upgrade for the app. It would essentially evolve Clicky from a stateless Claude wrapper into a full-blown personal AI agent. We are talking persistent memory across sessions, the ability to actively execute code, and even tool use, like actually controlling your web browser. And the community is just rapidly iterating. Developers have already launched forks like Skilly, which lets users plug in their own Anthropic or OpenAI API keys so they can manage their own data retention and costs. There's also OpenClicky, which aims to let you connect fully local models right on your machine, which entirely solves that cloud privacy concern we mentioned. And of course, there are active discussions and rewrites happening right now to bring this awesome companion to both Windows and Linux users. Ultimately, we are looking at a fundamental paradigm shift in human-computer interaction. We are rapidly moving away from isolating chat windows and moving towards shared visual contexts. So I will leave you with this thought. If your AI can now see your screen, understand your voice, and visually guide your mouse to teach you anything, what will you build tomorrow? The barrier to learning really just disappeared. You can go experience it for yourself right now over at clicky.so. Until next time, keep exploring.